Betty. Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Lion Coneo Day from the Stockton San Joaquin Lions Club. Hi there, and wishing you all a happy Monday and glad that you're with us today. My guest today is our past our past president from the San Joaquin Lions Club, Lion Jennifer Gass.
Hello.
And I'm going to first start out here talking about some of the events that are coming up. Denair Lions, they are having their annual pancake breakfast, and that pancake breakfast includes pancakes, ham, eggs, coffee, milk, and orange juice. This is going to be November 4th on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. till noon, and it's going to be at the Denair Community Center, 3820 Grattan Road, and there's going to be raffles and silent auctions, and all the donations are going to be going to a family there in Denair that is in great need. If you want more information, you can talk to the chairman, Michael Hayes, and the family's name that the proceeds are going to is the Castro family. So get out on November 4th for this wonderful Sunday morning breakfast. And then our Lions in Linden, they're called the Linden Lions, Linden, California. They're going to be having their Baroldi and Barrel roasted rib feed. This is quite a dinner. They're clubhouse is at 5041 North Market Street in Linden, California. This is going to be Saturday, November 10th. There's a no-host cocktail time at 6:30 p.m. and dinner starts at 7:30. And I'll tell you, if you've ever had dinner with the Linden Lions, you will know that this is going to be a great dinner. They have in their clubhouse a beautiful kitchen, a wonderful staff of Lions who have become the chefs, and they always serve a wonderful dinner. If you need information, you can contact Lion Paul Wagner, and his numbers are 931, excuse me. Let me start over again. The phone number is 209-931-9001. And another number is area code 510-910-3755. So all the proceeds from this wonderful dinner is going to go to community services there in Linden, California. Now for the big event that's coming up, it's my club's 60th anniversary. Yes, 60 years. The Stockton San Joaquin Lions Club has been here in Stockton, California, serving the community. And we are going to be celebrating the 60th anniversary, and it's going to be this Saturday, October 20th. And the doors open at 6 o'clock, and 6:30, or about 6:30, dinner will be served and a wonderful program. We're going to have this at UJ's Family Restaurant. Many of you in the Stockton area, I know you know where that is. It's at 7628 Pacific Avenue in the Hammer Ranch Shopping Center here in Stockton. And our guest speaker is going to be past District Governor Dr. Kevin Patel. He's a life member of the Hanford Lions Club District 4A2. And it's really exciting to have this wonderful, wonderful lion could come and be our guest speaker. He is also the regional coordinator for Leos in California and Oregon State, the Leadership Foundation. And he's got a doctorate in the Social Services and Leadership Lions University. And he is the first MD4's first official dancer. Now, Lion Patel, he is from India, and he does wonderful traditional Indian dancing. So he's not only going to be my guest speaker, but he's going to be my guest dancer at our wonderful 60th anniversary celebration. So if you want to get in touch with me, just go on our website, and that's Stockton San Joaquin Lions Club on Facebook, and we can give you all the information. Jennifer, we have our anniversary invitation on the website.
There's a flyer on our Facebook page that gives you all the information, including the price of dinner, which is $25 at the door. There's a choice of steak, teriyaki chicken, or salmon, and all those details can be found at our Stockton San Joaquin Lions Club Facebook page.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. So this is a great celebration. Anytime any of our clubs have hit these wonderful years, it's absolutely wonderful to come. We were chartered in 1958, and at 2018, that's 60 years that we've been here serving the community. So I hope any of you that are out there would like to come. And again, it's going to be on the Saturday, October 20th at 6 p.m. at UJ's Family Restaurant, 7628 Pacific Avenue at the Hammer Ranch Center. So I hope you'll be there, and call and make reservations too. Also, for our District 4A1, we have coming up our district meeting. That's November 2nd and 3rd. Friday and Saturday. And it is going to be Friday at Gladys. Oh, excuse me. Yes, that is. That's Gladys Lemon Senior Center at 450 East A Street in Oakdale. Saturday, it's going to be at the Oakdale High School, 739 West G Street in Oakdale. Now, if you wanted to stay overnight, there is accommodations at the Holiday Inn Express. That's at 828 East F Street. And the focus is going to be on membership for clubs and also on diabetes. So we're looking forward to having a large group, having members from every club in the district to come to this district meeting. It is going to be filled with wonderful information. Okay, and we also have a district meeting. The next one is going to be February 26th and 22nd and 23rd of February, the Mountain Region area. And that's going to be focusing on service and vision. So I hope you'll be able to come to this November. It's just right around the corner, the 2nd and 3rd. And if you go online to District 4A1, and you will find the registration is in our current newsletter. So you can sign up for the event. Also, one of the best trainings that we have here in MD4, that's for California, we have our Lions Leadership Institute. That's coming up January 26th through the 28th of 2019. It's never too early to start thinking about things. And that's going to be at 4539 Occidental Road in Santa Rosa, California. And the cost is going to be only $300, and that includes your room, and it also includes meals. So if you want to get registered, try to get registered by December 31st. And you may go online at the MD4 4A1 newsletter, District 4A1 newsletter, and it has the registration and all the information you need to be able to come to the Lions Leadership Institute on January 26th through the 28th. So those are some very exciting things coming up. And also we have the Rose Parade coming up on New Year's morning. The Lions Parade, Lions Float will be in that parade. And if you want to learn all about it and how to sign up to possibly go to Pasadena and be a volunteer, work on the float or some of the other floats, just go online to MD4 Rose Parade Float. And you'll get all the information there, who to contact to be able to be a volunteer. I was a volunteer a few years ago, and was very exciting. Got to work on the float, met lots more lions, saw all the other floats being made, and picked little pieces out of little seeds here and little seeds there, and everything is put on one at a time, believe you me. But it was a lot of fun. And then seeing the parade the next morning was excellent. So I recommend, if you have a chance to go to Pasadena and you can go there a few days early to work on the float, please do. And you can get all that information on the MD4, District MD4 Lions page. Okay. Now, this weekend, Jennifer, my guest, Jennifer Gass, I'm so glad you're here with us today.
Thank you.
She also is the past president from our club, Stockton San Joaquin Lions. And now she's got the big job of being a secretary, doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
Jennifer and I and her daughter and another lion, we went up to Calaveras Big Tree State Park this last Saturday. Mm-hmm. And it was the Three Senses Trail Recommissioning Celebration. And this is a California State Parks legacy event. And this is recommissioning of the Three Senses Trail. And Jennifer had a lot of input into this trail, so I'm going to let Jennifer talk about her experience. And she also was a speaker at this event this Saturday.
Well, thank you, Lion Connie. A little history about the Three Senses Trail. In 1976, I believe the people up there created a trail that was geared toward the blind. It had some Braille information. There was a little mystery hutch where you could reach in and feel objects. There were some features that were good for the blind, and it was in good repair at that time. Now, this many years later,
it had 42
years later, it had fallen into disrepair. And so Rod Smith from the Arnold Lions Club formed a coalition with the Calaveras Big Trees Foundation, several other agencies, and with a grant from Lions Club International, made a centennial project, which we just celebrated our 100 years of Lions as an organization. This was the big project for our District 4A1 to redo, to upgrade, to make it to ADA standards, and to expand the Three Senses Trail at Big Trees Park. So this past Saturday, they had a grand opening of this recommissioning of the Three Senses Trail. So for the past 2.5, 3 years, we've been working on this project. It's still not done. There's still some work to be done, but they've made great progress. There's an over 800-foot stretch of trail that's totally ADA accessible. You can access it from the museum, from the parking lot. It's smooth, whether you have a walker, whether you have a wheelchair, a scooter, or whether you're just unsteady on your feet. And there's also a nice little rim along the trail that you can trail with your cane, so you can totally walk this independently and enjoy it as a blind person or a person of any ability. They are making a sensory garden. It's going to have a bunch of wonderful hands-on exhibits that the blind can actually touch, because some of the stuff, we're not supposed to go off the trail into the forest, and sighted people could see it, but for us, we'd just be walking along the trail and what's out there. Now, I remember from when I was a young girl, I went and hiked the South Trail with my Girl Scout troop, and I had vision back then. I was probably 10 years old, and the little mystery boxes they had to reach in, I thought was the coolest part of the whole Three Senses Trail, not knowing in another 10 to 15 years I'd be getting most of my information through touch, as my eyesight had greatly deteriorated into blindness. So I was glad that they were putting the sensory garden in to renew those features, and they're finishing that up. They're also making an audio app. They can still use donations and volunteers as the rest of the project unfolds, but they're hoping to have it done by the spring. So there will be an audio app that the blind can listen to. They made a braille and tactile map of the trail so a blind person can feel to know where to go. It has a key with the different information, and the audio app will give a lot of information about what's in the area. There's braille on the benches there. There are braille signs. There are nice little quiet areas to sit so that people can rest and just listen to the sounds. They've done so much there already, and it was wonderful to be a part of it.
Now, Jennifer was asked to give some input when the guest speakers, she was one of the guest speakers, and before the trail got opened, you were there, weren't you, to give advice to how to use it, build the trail?
The first, Rod Smith had invited me and a then 6-year-old blind boy from the community to go do a walkthrough, and I remember it was on my birthday, 2.5 years ago. So it was a rainy day, but not too rainy, and Ryder, this wonderful young man, and his mother and I walked the trail and gave input about what would make it more blind friendly. Yes, this braille is a little off, and the sign says the trees to the left when it's really to the right. Just little things.
Ryder is blind too.
Yes,
right? Okay.
And so he and I gave input at that point, and then at various times throughout stages in the project, Rod Smith, of course, reached out to many people for input, but he ran things by me occasionally for my opinion as a blind person about what would work well, and so in small ways I was able to contribute, but I had a lot of enthusiasm, and I know that the blind and any family, any ability person will enjoy the trail, these new features. Ryder got to do the ribbon cutting. He's now 9, and it was nice to see him again.
That was very nice.
Yeah. So he's a great guy. I think he'll come play beat baseball with us someday because he's a real sport.
Well, let me add a little bit more information about how this sensory trail got started, and tell you a little bit about who donated. The primary donors, we had received a grant of $97,000. It's a matching grant from the Lions Club International Foundation. And so the rest of us Lions and other organizations that participated had to raise another $97,000 to match that, and which has been done. And also involved was the California State Parks Department, Calaveras Big Trees Association, big, wonderful organization. Arnold's Lions Club, and this is the Lions Club that's up at Arnold, and Arnold is right there by Big Trees. They are the ones who got this started. And then the Calaveras Community Foundation, Sierra Pacific Industries, the Lions Clubs in our district, 4A1, and other generous donors in California Sierra community. A lot of different communities up there in the Sierras where the tree is. Now, you remember Jennifer Helen Keller in 1925. She appealed to the Lions to do work for the blind, for vision.
Yes.
And then she said, "I appeal to you, Lions. Will you not constitute yourselves as the Knights of the Blind?" So ever since Helen Keller called us Lions, Knights of the Blind, that's what we have called ourselves. And that is one of our major projects, is fighting blindness in all of our Lions clubs throughout the world.
And preserving sight and helping those who have lost their vision to gain the resources and independence they need.
This whole project was spearheaded by the Arnold Lions, and in partnership including the California State Park and the Calaveras Big Trees Association. And they started that in July 2017, and to rehabilitate the deteriorating Three Senses Trail. And like you said, the Calaveras Big Trees Association built the original trail in 1976. So what has happened now are the three I'm going to read the major exhibits. There's a touching garden. It's over by the visitor center. And eventually, the audio will be working. They're working on the different programs right now for the audio. So it meets all the standards of ADA and also meets the standards of giving information out. Then there's the ADA Extension Trail from the main park trail. And I don't know, do you know how many feet that trail is?
I don't know how much the feeder trail is, but I remember we walked on it, and it was nicely paved to navigate from the visitor center, the parking lot, the trailhead.
Right.
So I could tell the work they had done there, but I don't know how much they put in total.
Yeah, it's not concrete; it's ground, just like you see it.
Yeah, but it's level.
It's level and it's packed down,
right?
And very safe to walk on, not any debris or branches or pine needles and so forth.
Right.
And it does, the resurfacing that they did on the trail does meet ADA standards. And there is a creek there, and Jennifer mentioned about there's 5 new benches along the trail, and there is one seat that overlooks where you sit. You can overlook the stream that goes through there, and it's going to eventually have an audio to tell you where you're at, and you'll be able to sit there. You can listen to the birds, you can listen to the water. It's a wonderful experience. And there'll be 11 sensory stations throughout the whole trail. Okay. And so that will give a full capacity of what a person who is blind or has vision impairment is seeing and what is there. And it's absolutely wonderful. We were so proud of your presentation that you gave, Jennifer.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you. It was nice to be a lion that happens to be blind so that I could give some input. So I appreciate Rod reaching out to me and whatever I could do to help. I think it was a great project.
Right, it was. And you can continue to donate. We do need more funds. There's funds that are necessary for upkeep and to finish what needs to be done with the audio. So if you would like to make a donation, just contact the Arnold Lions Club and tell them that you would like to donate to the Calaveras Big Tree State Park Sensory Trail Project. Okay? That would be great. And I want to also tell you that there is now a United States stamp that is the 3 Senses Trail, has a beautiful sequoia tree on it, and it says 2017, 2018, and it has the lion symbol on the stamp. It's a 35-cent stamp, and just really beautiful. It's something that's very, very beautiful. And it was a wonderful ceremony. I'm looking here at some of the sponsors: Arnold Lions Club, Calaveras Big Trees, Sierra Pacific, Calaveras Community Foundation, our District 4A1 Lions. All the Lions Clubs have been participating in donating to this wonderful, wonderful project. So I hope that this summer and even wintertime, come out to the Calaveras Big Tree State Park and take a walk on the Sensory Trail. And I think you're going to be very, very amazed. And tell us about when you walked on the trail, Jennifer, after the ceremony.
Okay.
How was it for you?
This second time, the first time when I walked, parts of the little edging to the trail were missing or underground. So it was a little harder for me to stay on the trail.
That was the first time you
Yeah, when 2.5 years ago. And so this time, like I said, it was uniform. It was totally level. It was easy walking. I could trail the edge and walk independently without getting lost the whole way. And I know when I have the raised line map, that would just give me more confidence to know I knew where I was going. But they put all the pieces in place to make it a great experience for the blind.
I think that along the side where we're talking about the railing, I believe that they were 2x4 long boards, and they were put together with a very large metal screw.
Oh, okay.
And so that it won't come apart.
So
and that's
heavy
what
duty.
You were feeling.
Yeah.
It's about 3-4 inches high along the edge. So it really is a wonderful guidance for someone who's using a cane.
It's a good tactile barrier. Yeah.
Yes, very good. So you can't accidentally get off the trail and go into the forest area.
Right, right.
So, and then when you got back, what did you feel as a person that needs to use a white cane? Did you feel that this was meeting the standards for you?
Oh, definitely.
Good.
I mean, we're used to dealing with every kind of situation, so when it's easy and nice like that, you can just relax and concentrate more on enjoying the environment and the surroundings than am I going where I'm supposed to go? Am I walking straight? It was
about,
more relaxing. Yes.
Did you have any difficulty going from the visitor center down to where the trail was?
No, not at all.
They didn't have the sides with the boards like they do right on the trail.
But when they have that raised line map, it will show you like where sidewalks curve around, or maybe if it was circling something, you would know if I go left or right, I'll still get from point A to point B. And, you can feel the edge where sidewalk meets dirt with your cane.
So that map, it was part braille and part
raised line drawings. Yeah.
Very good. That was really good.
The combination of those two will make it, easy traveling for nearly any blind individual.
Fantastic. Yeah. Now we're going to address what today is. Today is White Cane Safety Day. Every October 15th is White Cane Safety Day. Mm-hmm. And what were you doing this morning?
Oh, well,
would you like to share?
Sure. So for the National Federation of the Blind, and we belong to the San Joaquin County chapter here, in the National Federation of the Blind, October 15th is White Cane Awareness Day, and October is also Meet the Blind Month. So one of the activities that our group was doing today was dividing up into 2s and 3s and going to the different transit centers throughout the town to share information. We had brochures in English and Spanish about our national organization, and then we had a handout with our personal chapter contact info, which also had some general guidelines for etiquette. Sometimes people don't know how to approach a blind person.
Right, that's very true.
So we thought that would be a handy handout, kind of like Meet the Blind, instead of grabbing me and propelling me across the street and then asking me if I wanted to cross, if you say, excuse me, and it's okay, excuse me, blind lady, you don't know my name, but we prefer just, to speak to us like any other person, but we might not know that you're speaking directly to us. So if you can say something before you touch us, we would appreciate that. We do know how to ask for help. We appreciate the help when we ask for it. We typically will grab the back of someone's arm right above the elbow when we're human guiding with a person.
Yes.
Instead of them grabbing us, because I know sometimes it feels like you're being propelled along, you're going to fall off a cliff and you don't know it. If I'm behind you, reaching and grabbing the back of your arm, I can feel when you turn, when you stop. I can stop when you stop. And so, I can feel you step down or step up. So sometimes we use our cane, sometimes we use a guide dog, but sometimes we do use sighted guide or human assistance. So there's just some pointers about different, things about blindness and interacting with a blind person that we were sharing today at the Hammer Triangle, at the mall, and at the Downtown Transit Center. So I just came from the Downtown Transit Center.
That was in Stockton, California.
Yes, here in Stockton. My friend, chapter president Joga Singh and George Mendez are at the Weberstown Mall right now in between the bus stations sharing info.
And they're from the National Federation of the Blind.
Until 3 o'clock. And then David Vigil, Monique Monges, and Lisa Vigil are up at the Hammer Triangle Station in Stockton by Hammer Lane, handing out information until 3 o'clock. So you might run into them or go and say hello if you're out and about listening to the show.
That's great. I want to give you a little history today about White Cane Safety Day. Actually, in 1931, Lions clubs in North America began promoting the white cane. After World War II, this is really important, the veterans began returning home, and they were seeking to get involved in their community and get jobs. And many came home and they were blind. Well, Dr. Richard Hoover, he developed a longer white cane. And in Peoria, Illinois, it was the first community, that was in 1930. They passed a special ordinance about the white cane traveling. and made it aware in their community of people using white canes. And I'll tell you a little bit more here. I do have to read some of the information, but I think it's going to be extremely informative for you. The National Federation of the Blind, which Jennifer belongs to, they held a convention the 6th of July in 1963. And they called upon all the governors of all the 50 states at that time to proclaim that October 15th, which is today, of each year, be designated as White Cane Safety Day in each of the 50 states. October 6, 1964, a joint resolution of Congress was signed into law authorizing the President of the United States to proclaim October 15th of each year as White Cane Safety Day. This resolution said this. I'm going to read it to you. Resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives that the President is hereby authorized to issue annually a proclamation designating October 15th as White Cane Safety Day and calling upon the people of the United States to observe such a day with appropriate ceremonies and activities. And that's what Jennifer and the other members of the National Federation of the Blind have been doing today. And many of our Lions clubs, and probably you who I'm speaking to, also have a specific day in October or some other time with the White Cane Day and raising money to help with the different blind projects that the clubs are doing. So if you see someone with a white cane can passing out little white canes, please stop and talk to them and give them a donation, and you will get a white cane to put on your lapel. The white cane in our society has become one of the symbols of a blind person's ability to come and go on his or her own. It's used as promoted courtesy and special consideration to the blind on our streets and highways, just like what Jennifer was talking about. To make our people more fully aware of the meaning of the white cane and of the need for motorists to exercise special care for the blind person who is carrying it, the cane. And it also, President Lyndon B. Johnson, the proclamation says, therefore, I, Lyndon B. Johnson, present to the President of the United States of America, do hereby proclaim October 15th, 1964, as White Cane Safety Day. So it has become a presidential proclamation that on the October 15th of every year is White Cane Safety Day. President Johnson, he issued the first White Cane Proclamation, which was the accumulation of a long and serious effort on the part of the National Federation of the Blind, drafted of the Federation of the Blind. I'm trying to keep in contents here. To gain recognition for the growing independence and self-sufficiency of blind people in America, and also to gain recognition of the white cane as a symbol of that independence and that self-reliance of those who are blind. The first of the state laws regarding the right of blind people to travel independently with the white cane was passed in 1930, and in 1966, Dr. Jacobs Ten Broek, the founder of the National Federation of the Blind, drafted the Model White Cane Law. This Model Act, which has become known as the Civil Rights Bill for the blind, the disabled, and the otherwise physically handicapped, contains a provision designating October 15th as White Cane Safety Day. So today there is a variant of the white cane law on the statute books of every state in the nation. And from in 1963, a comparatively small number of blind people had achieved sufficient independence to travel alone on the busy highways of our nation. In 1978, that number has not simply increased but multiplied 100-fold. The process began in the beginning of the organized blind, movement and continues today. That's the blind movement. Okay, and there was a time when it was unusual to see a blind person on the street. To find a blind person working in an office, or to see blind person operating machinery in a factory. This is still all too uncommon, but it happens more often, and the symbol of this independence is the white cane. The blind are able to go, to move, to be, and to compete with all others in society. The means by which this is done is that simple tool, the white cane. With the growing use of the white cane is an added element, the wish and the will to be free, the unquestionable spirit and inextinguishable determination to be independent.
Very good.
With these, the blind person lives are changed, lives are changed, and the prospect of blind people become bright. That is what White Cane Safety Day is all about. That is what we do in the National Federation of the Blind. Also, like I said, all the Lions clubs throughout the world on October 15th or around the 15th of October do celebrate White Cane Safety Day. And we've been doing a lot of wonderful things with that, right?
Yes. I know several Stockton clubs collect money to purchase canes to supply them with blind individuals. South Stockton, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but they used to do a Ride for Sight motorcycle run that helped the blind. So I've seen the Lions involved with this my whole life. I remember the typical lion standing with a can when I could see when I was young,
Yes.
collecting money to help buy canes and support programs for the blind. So it's nice that we are a primary focus of the Lions clubs and that they support us in our personal independence and our journeys and opening doors for us. And they don't necessarily always have to be the nights for us anymore, but they can keep an eye out, and we appreciate it.
Well, that's wonderful. And like I said, the Lions clubs now, every year they have a White Cane Day, and they do stand out in front of grocery stores or Walmarts, and where there's a lot of traffic of people coming in, and sometimes they have a table set up and a sign that says a White Cane Day, and we give out a little white cane to each person that makes a donation. And when you do make a donation, that money goes for helping those in our community that have vision impairment. And money could go to the Blind Center. It could go to providing glasses, or blind people need surgery or anything of that sort. We can do things like that. So there's a whole lot that the money goes for, but it basically is for helping with vision impairment, as Helen Keller had asked the Lions to do. So I want to thank you, Jennifer, for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having the opportunity to be with you when we went to the Sensory Trail opening this weekend. It was really exciting. And to have you representing our club and representing those who have blindness, and how the trail helps you and helps others.
Thank you.
And it's amazing when you're trying to look at something that is accessible, it's important for those who are going to be using the accessibility because of whatever life challenge they may have, is able to give input and to like Jennifer did when they first started on the trail. She walked the trail and came back and said, "Hey, needs to be improved, and this needs to be improved." And I'm sure Ryder had input, the young boy. And then that way, then the people who have sight, you don't always know how something is going to be accessible to those who are going to use it that have some sort of life challenge.
Right.
So by having you and having Ryder go on the trail and say, "Oh, I'm going to fall off this trail because it don't have good sides on it, so we can tell where we're at," and so forth. So the input that Jennifer gave and the young boy Ryder was invaluable, absolutely invaluable.
Well,
and I want to thank you for all your work that you have done. You've been amazing.
Oh,
yes, she certainly has, and she has taught a lot of people here in District 4A1 a lot about blindness. And just seeing her at district meetings, using your cane, and people just love her to death all over the place.
You.
They've learned a lot just watching Jennifer about how to treat people who have vision impairment.
That's, sometimes we can just do it one day at a time, one person at a time, because like you said, it's not natural for a sighted person to instantly know everything the way you would see it.
Exactly.
So a lot of times they design products for a blind person and they've never had a blind person use it. And so it might not be useful, but they had a good heart there. So,
exactly.
People take the time to not be nervous and just interact. We'll find out we're just like any other person. We just don't have the vision. Yeah. So.
Well, I want to thank you for being with us today. And I want to say goodbye to everyone today, and I hope you'll be with me next week. I have a director of a wonderful youth program that's sponsored by Lord's Gym here in Stockton, and it's a youth after school program for high school students, and she's going to be here with us to talk about this wonderful, wonderful program. So I hope you'll join us next week.
That'll be a good show.
Yeah, I'm quite sure it's going to be. She's got a lot of information, and this organization program is absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
Very good. Very, very good.
Well, thank you, Lion Connie, for having me on the show.
And I want to thank you, too, for being here. I love having you being on my show.
Thank you.
A good friend of mine. So be with us next week. And I say goodbye to all of you this week. And be here next Monday, 2 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.